What's poppin', world? I hope all is well. Thanks for tuning in. It's your boy Speaks the Beast. If you're new to the channel, go ahead and subscribe. If at any moment during this video you like what you're hearing, go ahead and hit that like button. If you got something to say, go ahead and drop it in the comment section. Today we're going to watch this clip from Tony Gaskins. In a nutshell, he's telling men and women not to waste time when it comes to letting the other person know what you don't like, what you're not going to tolerate, how you expect them to move, so on and so forth. Let's watch this clip. I'm going to break this all the way down.
Two, they stable. They cool, calm, and collected. So we never had terrible tools. And that's how you got to train a relationship the same way you train up a child. The Bible say train up a child in the way that he should go, so when he won't depart from it. You have to train your relationship up. So what you don't want to deal with in year 10, you got to nip it in the bud year 1.
You heard that? You say you got to nip it in the bud year 1. What are your thoughts on that? How much grace should you give a person when you're starting to say talk to them, date them, whatever the case may be? How much grace should you give them? How long should you watch them as they're being themselves, right? How much of that should you watch before you start commenting or start putting your foot down or start trying to change things, right? How long should you wait when it comes to that? What are your thoughts on that? I'm going to keep rolling it.
You got to get right on it year 1. You got to get back on it year 2. Get back on it year 3. You got to nip up. Nope. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I ain't putting up with it. Hey, listen, don't try me like that. Hey, don't talk to me like that. Hey, I don't really put up with the disrespect. Hey, I don't put up with the inconsistency. Hey, I don't put up with the cursing. Hey, I don't put up with the yelling. Hey, I don't do the. You got to check it right there. Boom. When you do that, guess what's gonna happen? You're gonna be losing people. You're gonna be running people off in the first 3 months. So now, boom, you ain't lost nothing. Cause now you done got the person out your life. And this go for male and female. You done got the person out your life. Hey, you done. Boom. You done moved on. You done. Boom. You doing what you doing. Now you living your life. So now, guess what? Now you done got them corrected. You done got some straightening. So now they know, oh, don't play. They don't play like that. They don't play like that. They don't do this. They don't do that. They don't put up with this. They don't put up with that. So now they know, got to come correct. If you gonna come correct. And that's how you train a relationship, male and female. Because I've been hearing more and more about, I
don't think I got the rest of that.
About women.
So guys, what are your thoughts on that? What are your thoughts on that? Should you jump straight out and let that person know, hey, this ain't gonna fly, that ain't gonna fly. You know, this is how I expect for you to move X, Y, Z. What are your thoughts on that? Right? Well, you clicked on this video for a reason. So I'm gonna go ahead and give you my thoughts. In this clip, Tony is absolutely correct. He is absolutely correct. The sooner you let that other person know what you expect, what you're not going to tolerate, so on and so forth, the better off you'll be. And see, the thing with this is a lot of men struggle in this area. A lot of men struggle in this area. A lot of men are so focused on getting sex or getting a woman to like them or not getting rejected by her or not dealing with her attitude if they come off a certain way. They're so focused on those things that early on, they let whatever fly for the most part, right? They just roll along with it. They just go with the flow. They're very men. A lot of these men are very agreeable in the beginning, right? They will let that woman run them over. They will let that woman be whoever she wants to be. They will let that woman walk in those dreams, so on and so forth, early on. And then down the road, those same men will complain about certain things that that woman is doing or has done. And all the while, these men have accepted it or allowed for it to go on for so much time, right? This even happens when men get deep into a marriage and 10 years down the road, when things don't work out and they're going through a divorce and they're about to lose half or lose whatever the case may be, or be in a situation where there's child support or whatever, they're complaining. They're looking like, man, this woman just changed out the blue. When in most cases, she was like that the whole time. You just ignored it early on because you were so focused on getting sex or being accepted by her or avoiding her attitude, right? You just wanted to keep the peace. When all the while, these habits and these things that she was doing was a problem, right? And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that women don't overlook things that the men do in the beginning, because that happens also. And that's why you got a lot of single baby mamas, so on and so forth, because they allowed a lot of things to go on early on when dealing with certain types of guys, and then things just didn't work out, right? And maybe they were left with a baby, or maybe they compromised their bodies, right? Had sex with a guy who wasn't going to be around, right? So gave up their body for that. The list can go on and on. What I would say is this: put your foot down as soon as possible. Put your foot down as soon as possible when dealing with male or female, right? Have your boundaries. Do not let this stuff linger. There are many people married today and they regret it because they let certain things go on for months and months and years, right? And now they've got all these attachments, right? Maybe they've got kids. Maybe they've got a house. Maybe they joined bank accounts or different accounts and things. Maybe they're on one or the other's health insurance, right? Maybe they got cars together, you name it, right? And they are living in regret because they look past a lot of things or let a lot of things go early on. Like Tony was saying in the video, go ahead and nip it in the bud ASAP, right? Whether it be health and fitness, right? Hey, we need to work out. We need to eat right. Oh, no, we got to jump on that stuff early. Or how they talk, the language they use. If that's not something you're good with, go ahead and nip it in the bud early, right? Different tendencies, whether it's hygiene, right? Jump on that early on either side, whether we're talking bodily hygiene, uh, dental hygiene, you name it, whatever it is, jump on it early. Spirituality, if that's something you're big on, jump on that early. Don't let it linger if you ain't with how they moving. Maybe they ain't going to church, or maybe they don't pray, or maybe they don't acknowledge God, right? Jump on those things early. Maybe it's a respect thing. Jump on it early, right? Maybe it's how much time you want to, spend together. Jump on that early, right? How you raise and deal with the kids. Jump on that early, right? I could go on and on and on. No matter what it is, do not waste time. Do not let it linger. Jump on it early. I'll give you a a little taste of my personal life, right? Once upon a time, right? Let's just start off by saying that I was in a marriage, and ex-wife, she was from, let's just say, I'm in North Carolina, right? So she was from the southern region of the country. We'll just call it, right. She was from a state in the southern region of the country. And early on, from time to time, she would travel back home to see family, right? It was here and there, wasn't major, right? Then let's just say something happened as to where she felt like she needed to be there back at home more often. And so there was agreement that took place, and I think she was only going to do it for X amount of months, right? Now, once those months was up, I was expecting things to go back to how they were, like they were early in the relationship, right? Let's just say before we got married. But no, she was going back more frequently, right? She was going half the month. I said, oh. One day we were riding to the airport, and I said, how much longer you plan on doing that? She said, this is what it kind of is. I can, next few years at least, I want to move like this. I said, no, I can't do that. So we had a conversation. In a nutshell, we ended up deciding to go ahead and split, right? Because I had to let her know that I could not be a part of a marriage where she was going to be gone half the month, right? For, long periods of time. So anyway, I had to put my foot down. And that's just one example, but I've been in relationships and marriage where health and fitness, right? Uh, Early on, it was good, but then it started to get neglected by the other person. I had to say, oh, hold on now. You're getting away from it. Hey, you're picking up some weight now. Hold on. Right. So just different things and different times within relationships and marriage I've been in where I've had to kind of step in and say, hold on. And I generally have been with good women for the most part, right? So there's not like a long list of things I've had to kind of jump in and put my foot down on. But the earlier you do it, the better, right? Obviously, I've been in relationships where I've had to do that, and I was able to weed out, which chick I was gonna deal with versus which chick I wasn't gonna deal with because I was stern early on with the boundaries and with the expectations, right? So what he's saying worked. He's spot on, right? And in my situation, right, whenever you get as far as to getting in that marriage, you don't want a divorce, right? But sometimes it's better to, and I'm not trying to advocate for divorce, but sometimes it's better to break it off early uh, than to get deep into that thing and then have to go for a divorce. And now you're trying to divide everything up, right? Because a lot of men fear marriage because they fear the divorce, right? They fear having to pay alimony, spousal support, child support. So you name it. And what I will say is this: even if someone, let's just say, you just dealing with their representative, right, until y'all get into the marriage and things switch up, I'm talking about whether it's the man or the woman, the husband or the wife, it don't matter. It's best for you to break that thing off early on, or let's just say had a conversation, right? Because again, you can have a conversation and things might work out, but let's just say things don't work out. It's better for you to make a decision in those first 2 to 3 years than to be 10, 12 years in and y'all got all this stuff. Now that's about to be an ugly divorce. That is about to be an ugly divorce. So again, hopefully you can catch everything and nip it in the relationship stage, in the dating stage. But even if it gets to that marriage, because again, a lot of people deal with this, they see those representatives until they get into the marriage. But what I'm telling you is you get into that marriage, you let them know, hey, nah, this ain't gonna fly. That ain't gonna fly. This is how this is gonna go. This is what I can tolerate. These are my boundaries. These are my expectations. And early on in that thing, still be ready. Let it be known, had a conversation. And again, you do it early on so you can know what you got on your hands. And if y'all can't come to a consensus, right? Even if you involve counseling, therapy, whatever, if you want to go that direction, but set a strong foundation. That's what this is about. Set a strong foundation. And if things do not work out, hey, it is what it is. Y'all gotta do what y'all gotta do. But hopefully it will work out. The whole purpose, the whole point of this whole thing is if you put your foot down early on, Hopefully that person will kind of see it and respect what you're saying, and you guys can go on in agreement with how y'all gonna move going forward. That's really what it's about. But that's all I got for this video. Like the video, share the video, leave a comment in the comment section. I might be off on this, right? Maybe you should have a little bit more grace. Who knows? Maybe we gotta have more grace. I might be off on this, but let me know in the comment section. Remember, share this with your family and friends because we don't want to be great by ourselves. And remember this: keep God first. I love you all. Be blessed.